how to be a real entrepreneur, how to be financial free, how to be entrepreneur or freelancer.
Or a real freelancer. Really be free. So you can be free, so you can enjoy your life more. There are a lot of people who dream about doing this. There are a lot of people who say they want to do this. There are many, 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 many people who talk about doing this. So what's the difference between the talkers and the dreamers and the people who really do it? Well, we're continuing from last week's EE Business Club show, talking more about the baseline, your baseline. What is that? Well, basically, businesses have what is called overhead. This is a business English word, overhead. What is overhead? Do you know? When we talk,
What is overhead? What means overhead? And why it is the baseline for every business?
overhead means fixed expenses. Fixed expenses. Fixed means you have to pay them every month. They're like regular expenses, things that the business must pay every month or every week, but they're regular expenses. So for example, if a business has an office or a shop, a store, they probably pay rent. Rent is part of their overhead. That is a fixed expense, right? It's a regular expense. They must pay the rent every single month. It doesn't vary. It's every single month. If you have a web business, well then you might have to pay for hosting your website. So that again is a fixed expense. It's overhead. Employees. The amount you pay to your employees, that is overhead, right? If your business requires employees, if you need the employees to run the business, that's overhead. It's like a necessary expense. Now that might be a little different month to month, but it's usually around the same amount every single month.
Why overhead is so important for every business?
Overhead. This idea of overhead is very, very important for businesses because if you have high overhead, it means you have high regular expenses. You have less flexibility as a business, and you have more financial pressure, more money pressure, right? Because to survive as a business, you must make at least enough money to pay those expenses, to pay that overhead. If your overhead is $1 per month, well, it's low pressure. You just have to make $1 per month and your business can survive. If your overhead is $1 million per month, that's a lot more pressure because now you have to get $1 million every month just to survive.
Does our life also has overhead?
In your life, you have overhead.
How can we make more money in our business?
Life, you have overhead. And generally for businesses, a very simple way to make more money in a business, or to make your business survive or more survivable, stronger, or to make more of a profit, a very simple way to do that is to cut your overhead. Cut your fixed expenses.
Does it mean that all things what we own is overhead? And if we have more and more things, we own more and more things, we have a bigger and bigger overhead.
See, the things you buy, you think you own them. You do own them in a way. But in some ways, the things you buy can own you. There's a nice quote from the movie Fight Club that says that. The things you own end up owning you. It actually comes originally from Henry David Thoreau. What does that mean? The things you own can own you. It means when you buy things, and especially when you buy things that you must pay for monthly, like a house or rent a car. That now, in some ways, that thing owns you, because now you're a slave. You have to work to pay for that thing every month. If you buy an expensive house, usually with a loan, you have to pay that loan every month. Do you own the house, or does the house?
Which expenses did people cut first?
The first place is housing. This is the biggest one for most people, where you live. For most people, they pay the most money each month for their apartment or their house. That's the biggest expense, the biggest fixed expense for most people. Therefore, that is the first place to cut. The first and the easiest place to cut. It's the thing that will give you the biggest benefit. Cut your housing expenses.